Welcome to the martial arts of selling. What I'm going to share with you in these next 5 videos is 5 steps to becoming more than a real estate agent. Okay, so I'm going to be clear with everybody. I'm not an agent. I'm thinking about becoming one, but I train agents to become more than an agent. And so there's going to be 5 parts to this because in order to change your results, right? You got to change your actions, right? Which is the cause. And in order to change your actions, you got to change your mindset and the way you think. So, I've got 3 real estate clients that I'm training, that I work with, that I help, get more sales through for sale by owners, and also get and producing sales by working with banks. Okay. So this is really the introduction of a 5-step process. And if you apply these 5 steps, I promise you this, not only would you become more than an agent, but you're going to set the tone for how your career grows or how you start your career off in the right path. Because one of the things I've learned is that, a lot of agents are being taught wrong, in my opinion. It's just my personal opinion. I don't think a lot of them are prepared to go out there and really be successful. So what I try to do is help agents that are experienced to become better than what they are right now and make improvement, but those that are young in the industry to help them avoid the unnecessary things or experiences that they don't need to go through. Now, there's certain things you must go through, right? We all have to do that. But when you want to be involved in sales or what I call selling, because sales is the end result of selling, but no one likes to sell, and most people don't know how to sell. So hopefully with this martial arts of selling and what you're going to learn in these 5 steps, all of you real estate people out there and brokers, it's going to be very helpful because it does work. But you have to keep an open mind to making the right changes so that you can get better results. Because if you can't change your mindset, you're not going to change your attitude and you're not going to change your action. It is just that simple. Does that make sense? So buckle up, get ready, focus on the message and how it's going to benefit you, and then watch your sales grow. All right, guys. Welcome to part number 1 of a 5-part series on how to become more than an agent. Before we get into rebuttals and objections and techniques, we're going to start with very basic fundamentals. That's what a lot of people, in my experience, again, I'm speaking from my experience. You may have a different experience. But the people I work with, the people I deal with, and my clients, I go based on those experiences. So part number 1 is the most important part you need to master and develop so that you can not only become more than an agent, but that you can become more valuable to everyone you deal with. And if you can do that, money, contracts always follow value. That's just the way it is. See, people look at, they give time for money. I look at spending my time increasing my value. Why? Because if I increase my value and I get better every day, money is going to buy value. Money is going to follow value. That's just the way it is. So part number 1 is 5 steps. So part number 1 is making the right changes to produce the right results. Because if you're training wrong and you're practicing wrong, you're going to perform wrong. It's just that simple, right? So why not do the right training, make the right changes so that, again, you can become more than an agent. All right, buckle up. So now step number 1 in part number 1. You must absolutely change and make improvements on the way you think, which is what I call mindset. Why do I say that? Because life is very simple. Your actions, what you do, what you speak, comes from how you think. Your attitude comes from your mindset. So why not go to the cause? And that is your mindset. Change the way you think. Because you that are agents out there or planning to become an agent, it's a very competitive industry. And when you deal with for sale by owners or a seller, they're very armed to not do business with you. They're already going to prejudge you based upon their experiences of other agents. So you have to stand out. And the only way I know how to stand out is by being different, by changing my mindset, by changing the way I think. Does that make sense? So you got to develop the mind. Because if you don't develop the right mindset and you don't change and make improvements on the way you think, you're going to keep getting the same result. That's called insanity. You've heard of that, right? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So why not do it right from the beginning? And if you are an experienced agent, why not humble yourself, keep an open mind, and make necessary improvements so that you can get better at your craft? Does that make sense? Okay, step number two. Step number two is you must make very important changes on an effective strategy. See, that strategy has to be built on your style of selling, on the type of person you are, how you practice every day. You have to have a strategy. You can't just, for me, as an experienced salesperson and closer, I have a strategy. I have a method. I have a mindset. I have an attitude. I know that when I make a phone call and it's a cold call, which is 98% of the time, I'm going to be prepared. My mindset is right. The training of my mind is right. The strategy I use is consistent and it's effective. So you have to develop a strategy of the way you work to produce the right results. And that all starts with step number one is changing your mindset. Because once you change your mindset and you've accepted that you need to change it or you need to change the call, you're going to develop the right strategy for you to be able to get more listings, get those listings into escrow, and making sure that is escrow funds. Because that's the bottom line, right? And the only way to do that is you got to make the for sale by owner. You got to get them to want to hire you. But you got to have the mindset to do that. Does that make sense? Okay, step number three, you must improve on the quality of your engagement. You must improve on the quality of your engagement. Unfortunately, because of social media, people get lazy and they take the path of least resistance. They want the prospect to engage with them, but that's not typically, it works out that way. On a scale, it's a very small scale, a small percent of prospects that engage and take action. So you got to change your strategy in order to improve on your engagement. And there's many ways to do engagement. Me personally, I like cold calling. I love cold call. I teach my real estate clients how to cold call for sale by owner. It's the most powerful, effective engagement I believe you can offer anyone because it's personal, it's authentic, it's sincere, it should be original. And no matter how much technology comes out or new technology like AI and all that, that's all well and good. But people like you and me we all still seek personal attention. So you got to really improve on your engagement. And that's step number 3. Does that make sense? I had to keep putting my glasses off and on because I can't see. Okay. Number 4. Number 4, you must improve or change your call to action. What do I mean by that? You must improve or change the call to action. You see, call to action is what is being manipulated out there on social media, on your website. You want people to take a call to action to buy from you, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I like to do it the other way. I'm not going to wait for anybody to take a call to action. I'm going to go out there and take a call to action. So the way you make improvements is, first of all, for you agents out there, and those of you that are going to become agents, you have to understand who your real target audience is. If it's a for sale by owner, right? You got to change your engagement with them. You got to change your mindset with them. You got to have a better strategy to go about them. And you definitely have to know and take a better call to action to them. For me, it's always cold calling. That's my bread and butter. Whether I'm texting somebody or emailing somebody, I take the same mindset, the same approach. Because I found it to be the most effective approach. That way, I'm not competing with algorithms, competing with other people that may have more following than me. I don't worry about that. I take my call to action with my strategy, with my mindset, and with my engagement. That's what I like to do. Just offering it to you, giving you another way where you can make improvement to become more than an agent. Does that make sense? So step number 4 is you must improve or change your call to action. You must do that. If not, you're just going to stay on that spinning wheel. You're going to keep going over it, and you're not going to make improvement. You're not going to get more deals in escrow. And bottom line, you're not going to put more money in your pocket. Does that make sense? Okay, now step number 5. Notice I use the word improvement because you're doing something, so you got to improve on what you're doing. It's like an abandoned building, right? Or an abandoned house that's boarded up. As an investor, you can look at it, okay, do I remodel it or do I demolish it and start over again? You got to see what's the best improvement to make, right? So step number 5 is you have to improve on producing consistent results. I put this one number 5 because if you're not doing the first 4 steps, number 5 is irrelevant. But in order for you to improve on producing more result, and result is not always getting an escrow, believe it or not. It's not always getting the contract. It's about how you develop and build relationships with the right for sale by owner so that you can produce consistent results. You see, and I'll give you an example. Most people focus on the sale, which is the end result. It's the effect of a cause or the result of an action, right? So what is it that you have to do in order to produce the sale or the result, which I call the effect, right? Well, you have to improve on your selling techniques, your selling strategies, your selling fundamentals, your selling process. Because whether you like this or not, if you're posting on social media and you got a YouTube channel and you got content and you're doing that, you're selling. It's a form of selling. They call it marketing, advertising. You're letting something do the selling for you, and it's not always the most effective. It's not always the most powerful engagement. You may get a lot of followers, a lot of comments, a lot of likes, yeah. But are you producing sales? Are people really see your value. And I'll give you an example on this final step. I could put good videos and good content on my YouTube channel. I could put some good clips on my social media and then get them to go to my website. I could do all that. We could all do that, right? But it's never the same because that's the end result of the training. That's the end result of what you do. But when people actually speak with me, or I speak with people that become my client, they know I'm way beyond what the video shows because I'm personally engaged with them. They start to see the training and the what I do, how hard I work to get that end result, which is try to put the best video content or the best clip that I could. That's the end result. But when they're engaged with me and you engage a for sale by owner and they start to buy into you, that's a whole different level. And that's what I mean about step number 5. You must improve on producing consistent results, which means you gotta target the right for sale by owner and build the right relationships. And stop focusing on the contract. You know that's the end goal. So don't even make it about that. Make it about how do you earn that contract? How do you earn that relationship? How do you want to earning and producing that result consistently? Does that make sense? So this is part 1 of a 5-part series on how to become more than an agent. I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, do me a favor, smash that like button, share your comments, share your thought, and also hit the subscription button below.